Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and you're watching The Royal We. In this message, I want to give you the secret to understanding the space in which narcissism and toxic relationships lives in this world. I've discovered a secret that places narcissism and toxic relationships in a very confined space. And if you and I can understand the image of what this confined space looks like, then we'll be able to avoid narcissistically abusive relationships and toxic relationships. And if this sounds good to you, let me hear an amen, give me a thumbs up, and let's keep going. All right, so last night I uploaded a video on The Royal We. The message was about you being more than enough on your own. You being fearfully and wonderfully made. You being beautifully created and endowed by your maker. Given your beauty, given your brains, given your bronze, you are complete. According to the ancient literature, you are made in the image of God, which means you require nothing in the form of relationships outside of yourself in order to fulfill your purpose that you have been designed to fulfill. That was last night's message. Now, in that message, I used as a tool, on a side note, Maslow's hierarchy of human necessity, that pyramid thing that we learn about in grade school. And it's important to understand that we are force-fed it in grade school. There's a reason why. Because there's an area in this pyramid, and this becomes the confined space in which narcissism and toxicity lives. So let's break down that pyramid and go through it one more time so we can see the image of this. And if you have to print out Maslow's hierarchy of human necessity, you can go ahead and print it out right now, put this on pause, come back, and we'll restart it because I want you to get this image, or you can just keep listening to me, okay? So Maslow's hierarchy begins with things we can all relate to. You need food and you need water, right? To sustain your flesh and these bodies. Otherwise, we cannot survive. These bodies cannot survive. It fuels us. The next thing in the pyramid that you are required to have is shelter and protection. Protection from the elements, protection from bad things, protection from horrible weather. So yes, you do need shelter, otherwise the sun will beat you down into the ground and there's nothing you could do about that, right? And so will the rain, and so will the snow, and so will the ice, and wherever else you live, right? You deal with nature, God's design, right? So those two levels are musts, but the next level on the pyramid and the level after that were put in there, I believe, as a form of propaganda. Propaganda to take us away from understanding who we are and what we're called to do, and instead throw us all into a giant mix of people trying to achieve these things that are not necessary and you'll never find. What's the next one? The next one is belonging. This is the first one. The confusing thing, it's not find your purpose in life, it's you need to find where you belong in life. And then the one after that is respect. You have to find respect. You need to find esteem in this life. People have to esteem you. Okay? And then after these two things, then we get to the very top of his pyramid, which is self-actualization, which is no more than you fulfilling your purpose in life, you doing the best of your ability with what you have. The way I see this now, and you should too, is that in the middle, the belonging part and the respect part, we're stuck in there as forms of propaganda to keep us confused. Boom. Because you don't need to belong to anybody else outside. You do not need to find respect, but the world and society and culture has really pushed and pulled people to believe that. I want to talk with you about the subliminal messages that keep people locked in trying to find belonging. How many of you have heard the Dean Martin song, "You're nobody till somebody loves you"? Right? Come on, you're nobody till somebody cares. Baloney! Baloney! And we're listening to this stuff, and it makes us feel depressed at the very thought of being alone. And being alone sometimes is where you find your power and you find who you are and you get connected with your true calling. And so now watch this. And that's not the only one. That Dean Martin song's not the only one. How many movies have you seen surrounding holidays where they talk about, oh, the poor person who's alone this holiday, has nowhere to go, nobody to love them. And they look half dead, crouched over in their chair. How sad. They're alone. So culture has painted this picture of being alone and stamped it, loneliness as a very depressing concept. Now, when you think of being alone, is it really being alone? Is that really so bad? I'll tell you what, listen, men here, we have men caves, right? Like mine here. I love coming out here, being what? Alone. And some of you might say, yeah, well, Kev, that's not permanent, this and that. It feels great. I could probably stay, a long time out here. Some of you women, I know you like your alone time too. You sit in your bath, right? Bubble bath with your sea salts and Himalayan salts and essential oils and your bubbles and wine. Just alone. You don't want to be bothered. There's power in being alone, but society has tried to push that being alone is so sad. It's so lonely. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely, right? And I doubt that people actually experience loneliness in this life, especially in America. But I would say that people experience no, I take that back. Let me re-say this. People experience being alone in America and in this life, but people don't experience true loneliness. Because loneliness is a concept and it's an idea that was pushed on us. It's what it looks like. So now watch this. This is what this has created. Here's the secret. This has created this big area now, get the image of this, to where people who do not know what their purpose is in life, they focus on these two things, finding belonging and finding people to respect them. This, my friends, is the world of narcissism and toxic relationships. Because now these people are fighting each other and they're competing for belonging. And when somebody goes to a new group, they automatically feel they have to fight for a position in that group. You see this in families. This is why families have to pick a scapegoat and have to pick a golden child. They do this because there's a fight for belonging. It's all based on this image that we've been given in society. This is the world of narcissism. Respect. You have to find respect. So people fight for respect. I'm going to bully somebody so I can be respected. Because they're told that this is what you have to do in life. You have to find your belonging. You have to find respect. So kids are misled into finding gangs to be a part of so they don't become lonely. Right? Family members are pushing each other aside so they can figure out who belongs more than the other person. And then everybody who belongs to a group is always fearful of the next person who's going to come in and push them out. Because everybody, instead of focusing on their purpose in life, their purpose has become trying to find belonging and trying to find respect. This has shifted and become people's new purpose. And guess what? You're never satisfied if you are trading in your purpose, your true God-given purpose, to try and find belonging. You'll never be satisfied in that. Why? Because you're ignoring who you are and you're trying to conform to a group. You're trying to conform to a mob. You're trying to conform to a gang. You're trying to conform to a family so that you can feel belonging, so that you can feel respect. I'm respected. And there's no self-identity in these things. It's tribalism. And that is what Maslow's hierarchy has pushed people into. That is what these songs, You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You, has pushed you into. It's what these movies that display the poor people who are lonely. Don't be like that. It's a sad existence. I'm telling you right now, Royal We, it's not. Spending time alone, discovering who you are. Let me share something with you. When I started the Royal We, I was alone, broken. But you know what? I stopped trying to fit in with people and places I didn't belong to. I spent years trying to fit into a family of in-laws where I didn't belong. And it hurt and it broke me. And so I finally gave up trying to fit in and belong, and I started focusing on my gifts, my talents, and who I am. And I found a purpose in life. And when you have a purpose in life, you won't find toxicity in that. Yeah, you'll have people come up against you, but they're not in you because you're not trying to find your belonging in them, so they're not going to affect you. This is where you become immune. You want to know how you become immune to toxicity and narcissistic abuse is you stop looking for belonging with them. You stop looking for respect from them. Instead, you focus on your purpose in life. And then guess what? As in my story, when you find your purpose and when you live to your full potential, guess what's going to come right after that? Belonging. Because people are going to resonate with you, and you're going to find belonging. And guess what? You might also find some respect in that, right? So the image that I want you to take away in this video of where narcissism and toxic relationships live is in the area of trying to find belonging and respect in this world. Because if you are looking for belonging in other people, then they will always let you down and you'll never be satisfied. If you're looking for respect from other people and other things, then it will let you down because you will only be respected until they respect the next person more than you. So skip that area, avoid it, because this area is where all the narcissists of the world are fighting. Listen, narcissists and toxic people are people who do not know their purpose in life. They don't have aim in life. All they know is they need to feel like they belong. This is why they jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, changing their identity, morphing into a new person, trying to find a new tribe, trying to find a new group, and trying to find a new identity, and they do it effortlessly. If you want to avoid toxic relationships and narcissists, understand that's their realm. Those two layers in Maslow's hierarchy, those two levels, that is the world of narcissism. Avoid it. So what I want you to do is, if you have Maslow's hierarchy printed out, I want you to put a big X through those middle areas. You do not need to find belonging. You do not need to find respect from people. And I want you to circle food and water because you need that. Circle shelter because you need that. And then go to the top and circle self-actualization. Circle that. Live out to your best potential. Bring that back down. That's the small thing to focus on in this life, and let all the other people who have not yet discovered this secret fight for things like belonging and fight for things like respect, and get out of that narcissistic, toxic mess. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. Visit www.jointheroyalwe.com right now. Schedule your one-on-one appointment with me. I do FaceTime for those of you who are Apple users. You can also set up a phone conversation. I want to remind you right now that it is Central Standard Time. For those of you who want to schedule an appointment, keep that in mind. Also, join me every Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for Royal We Live Chat. It's an opportunity to chat with the community members. You can also call in for free and chat with me there, or text your questions in. Every Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship at 9 o'clock a.m. Join us for an in-depth Bible study of understanding the narcissism in this world. And we'll be back with more videos right here on the Royal We.